It's your Kingler for the week. Technically, I'm supposed to be streaming Saturday mornings according to my schedule, which I have not been doing. But I thought I would take you guys through my LC Open journey. So, um, this is LC Open 4. You guys will see this is a while back. And I'll just take you guys through the thread. I'm facing up against Majespic 22 and Zorodark. This is one of those round robin finals. Kind of uncommon these days, but you would see it from time to time. So you'll see someone's rooting for me immediately. I see I've contacted my opponent. Soldier thinks it's going to be easy for Majespic 22. Fran 17, notable Italian sort of centerpiece, stalwart, a pillar of the Italian community, says Kingler 12345 is going to win. Shiloh, the tiering lead of Smogon, says go Zorodark. And Zorodark says making LC finals of LC Open means you get picked in SPL, right? Perhaps more on that later, but spoiler for some of you guys that this was very impactful towards the SPL that would end up including LC, and some of the participants of this LC Open would actually, in fact, end up included in SPL. Dedicace Milio Majespic 22. Some friend support for Skada. Sweep, an old member of MMM, says Kingler. Omfuga, PO guy, says King Zorodark. And Galley, aka Tahu, aka my support, says Crab Boss 12345. Atomic Llamas says all friends, so good luck to them except Kingler. This is sarcasm, of course. Llamas and I are on good terms and friends at this point. So, Zorodark is his prediction. We'll see if it comes true. And Ununhexium says Team Kingler 2K15. I really gotta keep my C Money ATL 5 says that I am a bum in the Twitch chat. That's arguable. C Money ATL 5. Thank you for chatting. And Metal Gross says Zorodark. Those of you that have been around Smogon for a while will know that Metal Gross and Zorodark are siblings. And Metal Gross is a very, very good friend of mine. Especially because of everything that we've been through from SPL and so on. So this is, fair enough. It's your sibling. It's your brother. You gotta root for him. ISA says Belgian Blue. This is a reference to Zorodark. So heavy support for Zorodark. And Luna, I'm not entirely sure who this is, says Superior 22. This means Majespic. Alice Kazumi says Kingler 12345, an LC user. So it seems like all the people really in the know that understand what's going on are rooting for me. And then all the kind of ignorant users are rooting for, the other people in here. Genesis roots for Majespic. Level 56. A very strong player at this point, and Grand Slam playoff maker in Grand Slam 4 roots for me. I did say in my history post that I have more to say about him, and I don't know if I'll ever get to say more about him, but I do hope to cover him at some point because he is incredible player and just a fascinating character. Mr. Magnus, aka Traukin, known at this point as Brazilian Army, says Lord Kingler Numeros to represent LC. I appreciate that. Confide, who I beat earlier on in LC Open, and I have mentioned him in my history post. Roots for Majespic, and Goao, who I have a lot to say about, but I will probably leave that for the history post, says, my boy Kingler can't lose. Scythe says, Roity Flam 22. I'm guessing this means Majespic. Bre says, King Lear numbers. And there's a lot going on here. Smurf, a Ruins of Alf guy, just says, Queengler 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is the purpose of the stream? The purpose of the stream is to go over the LC Open. I'm just going over the thread currently, but I will be breaking down my games. And Melon roots for Majespic. OP is rooting for me. These threads don't get this much traction, guys. Like, there's 4 pages of posts in this thread, and these LC Open finals do not, like, Open finals do not get this much traction, so people are really excited for this finals, being my point. Gunnar Rohan, another very important character from around this time, roots for me. Numbers, Kingler 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. TCR roots for me to go 0-1, then reverse sweeping off a Lucky Skullburn. This is a reference to what I did against Confide. Mr. 378 is rooting for me, and basically there's a lot of stuff going on. Finch rooting for Zorodark on account of being a PO guy. So I will go over my series in order. The first guy I played against ended up being Majespic 22. Here is the matchup we have on screen. I have a Snivy, Diglett, Chinchou, Arkin, Cottony, and Mienfoo. Cottony's not really a mon I would bring in modern day Oras, but back then I think I found Cottony useful just for prankster, having like stun spore, knockoff, that sort of stuff. Majespic has Fungus, Chinchou, Garfish, Spritzy, Mienfoo, and Stunky. You guys will notice that Fungus is quite good against my team. It hard counters Snivy and Cottony and Mienfoo. Gets a spore against everything against Cottony and Snivy, but it hard counters Cottony and Snivy, so they don't want to stay in on it. So basically, being against Fungus, not good days for me. Spritzy as well, it hard counters Mienfoo, and then I lack fairy resist, so I don't really have a very good way of dealing with the Fungus and the Spritzy. The Ponyta is whatever. The Chinchou sort of checks it, Arkin sort of checks it, Mienfoo can pivot on it, and I have a Diglett if it doesn't have Flame Charge. I am getting a lot of Twitch alerts. Flip the sides. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm going to assume this is DC, but thank you very much. I'm going to flip the sides. So, I hate facing this Fungus. I don't care about the Stunky because of my Diglett. Although Sucker is 80 base power Nora, so the Diglett against Stunky isn't like a free trap. I still have to make some predictions, and it's just kind of messy. This matchup is kind of messy. My Fungus matchup is awful. The Garfish, I have Snivy and Cottony, which both check it very well, and a Chinchou. And he doesn't have a Volt immune for the Chinchou, which is pretty nice for me, but If he keeps momentum, I think his matchup is quite good here, and I would assume this Fungus and Spritzy should be able to make a lot of progress. So I will make the speed slow just so I don't let the game run too fast, and we will get started. I lead out a Chinchou against his Mienfu. Not very good because Mienfu usually run like fake out and get a lot of momentum on you. Chinchou doesn't do much against that. It can maybe Scald, it can Volt Switch, but it's not going to retain a lot of damage on Mienfu because of its ability Regenerator. Mienfu's just going to U-turn out of me and then heal all the damage that I did to it up. So Chinchou into Mienfu is not a very good lead. I'm going to switch out into Cottony, which is Fairy type in Gen 6, so it resists high jump kick and knockoff. Because of its grass typing, it doesn't resist U-turn, but Cockney is a pretty good switch into Mienfu. He ends up knocking off on the lead, so he doesn't click fake out. And he knocks off my Aviolite. Now, I click on Stun Spore. Giara notes that I am playing Crab Boss. This was a moniker that I received around this time. Users like Nails will still refer to me as Crab Boss, and Vink2612, the host of the tournament, says that this is hype. These guys, Giara is French, and Vink is, I believe, Belgian. So there is some affiliation with France. I'm not quite sure that this is on the up and up as it concerns this tournament, and I should mod chat this so that these users don't get to spout this nonsense in my game chat. But I don't think I've gotten to this stage of my career yet. So I decided to stun spore. I think I really expect Fungus. I just want to spore something, you know? Like if Ponyta comes in, I want to stun spore it. If Fungus comes in, I want to stun spore it. But he just decides to stay in, and I full power him, which is very, 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 very fortunate. Like, imagine he U-turns on me and goes to Ponyta. That's not very good for me, because he can threaten a flame charge, and my next turn is kind of tricky. If he goes to Fungus, he threatens his free Sludge Bomb, and I don't have a very good answer, because I think my Arcan has an item. So if I go Arcan on the Sludge Bomb, yes, I don't take much damage, but I don't kill him back, like, from full. And he threatens Spore. So my turns just look very hard, so the fact that I full power him is definitely very fortunate for me. And I'm already addressing this. It's like, bro, you're playing a game. You don't need to address all this, but hey, it is what it is. So, he just hard switches to Ponyta. And I knock off. Knock off is a pretty free click on basically any of his mons. I just want to get rid of the Eviolite, and kind of go about my business. Use my other mons to start doing damage. I wonder if I get burned by Flame Body. I don't. Go Maja. Sorry, King, you too. Thank you, Confide. So I go to Chinchou on the Ponyta, and Ponyta uses Flare Blitz. It kind of not much to talk about here, but I'm gonna try to introduce like as much analysis to this as I can, you know. He goes to Fungus as I Scald, so he is Mono Fire Pony. He doesn't have high horsepower. I don't even know if that's a thing in Gen 6. Actually, that might not be a thing in Gen 6. I'm kind of not super like tapped into Gen 6 right now. My bad, guys. I don't think high horsepower is even a move in Gen 6. So obviously he goes Fungus, right? Because Ponyta can't touch Chinchou. I Scald, and I do not burn. Confide did mention against me that Scald is a good move, and Scald is a very good move, but it's not like super good here. Classic Kingler Haxing took 2 turns. Didn't Hax here this turn, buddy. I don't know what to tell you. So I didn't get the burn this turn. So Chinchou has not really made progress against Fungus. I'm gonna Volt Switch out, and I will go to the Mienfu. I'm gonna start ignoring comments a little bit, guys, because it's I did think I would get to go through all the stuff, but I think this is a bit of a waste of time. So I switched to Mienfu as I get spored, and my sleep counter is at 0. So this is not very good for me, in essence. I think his Fungus is very free to just stay in and start sludge bombing me, but whatever. Like he goes Scarfish here, and honestly, I think this is not a very good move because I have 3 water resists on my team. But I don't think this is a terrible move. I think bringing Fungus in at all for free and then managing to get a spore off, Majestic has kind of done what he's needed to do in order to like progress this game. And my like Eviolite and Courtney is off. Like Corfish can really start clicking buttons. I burned the sleep turn on the Mienfu. I go Courtney on the Crab Hammer. He even crits me. And you'll see it does 59%, so it doesn't do that much, even with adaptability on Carfish. I think this means that my Courtney is Fizz Def. I don't have the base tier, obviously. I'm not going to go bother looking that up from, like, old messages. But my guess is the Courtney is very physically defensive. And the Courtney should be faster than the Garfish, because Garfishes run Adamant, so they're at 13 speed. So even if my Courtney isn't fully speed invested, it should be faster. And from his perspective, he's only seen 2 status moves in Stun Spore and Knockoff, kind of. So he knows that I have to have some kind of attack, and it could very well be Giga Drain, which will take all, like most of Garfish's HP and keep me out of Crab Hammer range. So he switches out to Fungus, and I knock off. I make a nice read and knock off the incoming Fungus, giving me a lot of leeway. Fungus counters my Snivy, it counters my Chinchou, it counters my Mienfu, and it checks the Diglett very, very well. It's not going to switch in on Diglett, because when Diglett comes in, it's trapping every other Mon. They're all grounded, but it wins the 1v1 5 of my 6 Pokemon, which is very important. So having it knocked off and not have the full defense from the Eviolite is incredibly important. I switch into Arkin as he goes into Garfish. Very nice double Majestic. Arkin's the one Mon I have that kind of deals with the Fungus, but then he's like, oh wait, let me just double into Garfish. I predict, he like completely predicts me, and now I am in a very not good spot. I'm gonna go Snivy because my Courtney is very weak, as Garfish knocks me off. And I'm berry juice. Like, this looks terrible for me, guys. This is really not good stuff. He goes Fungus. I leave Storm. Because of Contrary, I get +2 special attack on my Snivy. And I go Diglett as he Sludge Bombs. I go Arkin as he Giga Drains. There's a chance I think HP Ice killed Fungus. So I was like, okay, he's gonna go Ponyta. I'm gonna go Diglett and double on him. And that just doesn't happen. And he just makes like the most obvious play and Sludge Bombs. So this was not good for me. If I poisoned, it would have been even worse. And I go Arkin, realizing like Diglett's not winning this 1v1. At least the fact that I had Diglett in means that because of Arena Trap, he can't double switch, which is good. So I get a guaranteed advantage with the Arkin against the Fungus. And he goes Spritzy as I Stealth Rock up. I finally get my rocks up, and none of his mons resist rock, so Stealth Rock gets a lot of value against his team, does a lot of damage to Ponyta, Actually, Mienful resists rock, but the other mons don't. So, still pretty good for me to get rocks up. But overall, I have a slept Mienful. This guy is basically dead. This guy is kinda dead. Like everything's low. It's not looking good, guys. So I U-turn and go into Chinchou on Spritzy. I have no fairy resist, remember, so I go. He goes Moonblast, and my Chinchou gets dropped in special attack, meaning that the 1v1 is pretty hopeless. He goes Fungus for a reason I don't entirely understand. I think Moonblast is pretty free here, but it's part of like the fact that this is the finals of a tournament. It's LC Open. We've played like 10 rounds so far, best of threes, or maybe 8 or 9 rounds. It's very contentious. It's a very difficult tournament to win. It's probably the most important individual LC tournament at this point, and even to date, it might be the most important LC tournament. So there's a lot of pressure. Like, he's not playing ideally, but I think it's important to remember that there's a lot of pressure at stake here. So he goes Fungus here, which is not necessary whatsoever. I can even scald him and burn him, but I just still think, like, he's not really playing for the momentum. Like, I can burn the Fungus, and that would be really good for me, too. I scald, I don't burn, I Volt Switch on him, and I go Arcan. He Giga Drains me and gets me into Berry Juice range. Now the Arcan loses its item. Acrobatics is 110 base power. It's going to kill the Eviolite-less Fungus pretty easily. And I lack Fairy Resist, but he lacks Flying Resist. And he gave me a lot of free momentum to click Acrobatics. He goes Mienful on my Acrobatics. So he just decides to sack a full mod. As he goes Corfish, I'm gonna go Chinchou. I don't know why Ojama is docking here. It seemed like there's a lot going on with the French community. I'm not gonna bother translating this stuff. But I assume there is a lot being said about the level 5-ness of the tier here, and the fact that this is an official tournament. It's a frequent topic of conversation amongst tour players that Little Cup is silly or a joke or whatever. So I assume it's like in that flavor of conversation. So I got Chinchou as Garfish Crab Hammers. He crits me again. So he's crit me twice on my 2 water resists. And he got me with 1 read on the knock on the Snivy, right? So none of my water resists are looking too hot right now, guys. I'm not an Aquajet range or anything, and he doesn't have Volt immune, so I can Volt Switch on this guy pretty quickly, pretty easily. But it doesn't feel good to get crit here. So he's gonna go Stunky as I Heal Bell, which is a very perplexing move. My Mienful is slept, and I guess that's why I was comfortable getting it slept on Fungus. In modern LC, seeing Heal Bell on Mienful would kind of give you like an aneurysm, like what is going on here? I was running it back then. This is really passive, but whatever. And it's a good move to get your Mienful Cleric, but and also kind of a prediction, because if he stayed in, it's not good for me, right? But I guess things work out for me. I think I could have very easily Volt Switched, but fair enough. He Sucker Punches as I make some kind of attacking move. I go Mienful. He goes Ponyta as I knock off I think I was trying to catch the Spritzy here. I thought he'd go Spritzy. He goes Bonita instead for some reason. And I knocked off his Eviolite. Was it already knocked off? It was already knocked off. So he went to the Bonita that was already knocked. I knock him off. And I don't get the Flame Body proc. He recovers as I U-turn. And the reason I U-turn here, guys, I think is because back at this time, I think all of my Mienfus ran Drain Punch instead of High Jump Kick. Obviously, High Jump Kick is standard these days in basically every tier of LC, but back then I ran Drain Punch, and a significant percentage of my Eviolite defensive Mienfus. Because I didn't understand how damage rating worked. But, hey, he Morning Sun, I U-turned into Diglett. I didn't get burned on the Mienfu, so I'm chilling. I go Diglett, and I trap this guy. It's Life Art Diglett. He goes Garfish. I go Cottony. Has he Aqua Jets? The reason he Aqua Jets and not Crab Hammers to secure a kill on the switch is that I could Earthquake him for like maybe 65% damage, and then he dies to 2 Rock Switchers. So his win condition in Garfish / Spritzy, and Garfish is the more offensive one because that's priority 2. He kind of needs to keep this healthy in order to make any progress because he is down more Pokemon than I am. I have Prankster and Cockney, so I can Stun Spore this guy, which I will choose to do. And he doesn't get full powered, he Aqua Jets me. I go Snivy, and I'm gonna Leaf Storm in the switch probably. I Leaf Storm in the switch. And I'm gonna HP Ice to kill him. I feel like this killed him earlier and he didn't switch for some reason. So this dude just does not have fear, or he thought I was Hidden Power Rock or Hidden Power Fire for Ferroseed. Like one of the weird hidden powers that's not like, well, fire would work in his fullness, but he thought I was some kind of hidden power that wasn't super effective in its fullness, I guess. Because this pretty clearly kills him. He goes Stunky. And I Leaf Storm here, and I'm faster, and you guys will clearly see that the max speed for Stunky is 18. So he is some weird, I want to say bad Stunky spread, and Stunky in Oras LC is already pretty suspect, so it's like dubious on top of running a Stunky that you're running a Stunky Snore than Snivy, which is 17 speed. Braj Bron says 50s, right? I don't completely understand this Braj. I Leaf Storm as he tries to pursue me, so he's kind of he's kind of going a little desperate here. I still have Mienfu that checks the Garfish, and the Garfish is paralyzed. So it's not like I need the Snivy or I would switch out the Snivy. I think this pursuit's a little desperate. You can just attack what you have in front of you. You can just Gunk Shot if you have Gunk Shot, I think. But then the fact that you have a Stunky slower than Mienfu is pretty concerning. So I don't really know how you play that out. But he wins the next speed die, so he's 17 speed for some reason, and pursues me. As I die, I go Mienfu. I Drain Punch him. And then the Aftermath hits me. So I win a pretty important speed tie here, which is good for me. As he goes Spritzy, I knock him off. As he Moonblasts, and then he says that was the lowest roll ever. I mean, I was defensive Mienfu. I think I should live this all the time, but I U-turn into Diglett here because Diglett's useless, guys. Garfish is gonna Aqua Jet it, and then Spritzy just kind of recovers in Diglett, right? So if I U-turn into Diglett and he attacks me, I can go into Arkin now, which does more damage. But if he tries to recover on me, I have a Life Art Diglett that's doing like a lot of damage to him. So I think this Diglett switch was quite good. Also, if I U-turn into Arkin and he Moonblasts me, right? Imagine he Moonblast the Arkin, it's at half HP or less, and Defeatus is activated, which lets the Spritzy just kind of wish heal on it. So it's very important that I actually go Diglett here instead of the Arkin, and don't give him an opportunity to recover me. This sacks the Diglett, which, you know, doesn't feel great, but at least it lets me get in a fresh Mon with damage that will kill what's in front of me. Acrobatics does not kill the Spritzy, but now it's in range for even defeatist acrobatics. And I U-turn into Mienfu as he goes Garfish. I U-turn into Arkin as he full paras. He full paras again as I acro, and low roll on Fu plus double para. Yep. He Aquajets, kills my Arkin. I go Mienfu, and I win the game by Drain Punching. Great move to run a Mienfu. So that was game one. Pretty, I would say pretty not good matchup for me. Like, I brought a team that was not very good into Fungus. I'm not sure why I did this. I feel like this was my own team to some extent, or a large extent, because I feel like the teams that Taz and Tahu passed me, or Gali passed me, were more solid than this. So this does seem like kind of my own creation. But I did win a game against Majestic. So let's see how game 2 looks like. Game 2, I have the Garfish this time. Ferroseed, Bonniard, Snubble, Gothita, and Mienfu. I feel like I was a pretty big Mienfu head back in the day. Majestic has some sort of HO with Dwebble, Pumpkaboo. I'm guessing it's going to be Pumpkaboo small. Some sort of offensive set. Bargon, Mienfu, Bonniard, and Ghastly. I lead Mienfu, and this is someone else's team. I think this is Taz's team, maybe, because it had nicknames on it, and this isn't something I would nickname my Mienfu. So I lead Mienfu as he goes Dwebble. I knock off the Dwebble. It has Berry Juice. It's Stealth Rocks. And I taunt him. Maybe I should have taunted turn 1 to prevent the Stealth Rocks. But if I taunt and he knocks me off and then goes to like another Pokemon, I kind of lose momentum. Additionally, it's kind of evident I don't have high jump kick here, because I feel like I might have repped a high jump kick if I did have it. So this is still a Drain Punch Mienfu. We're still kind of living in the dark ages of Aura SLC. I taunt as he doesn't get Spike. I knock again, predicting the Pumpkaboo. At this point, maybe I think Pumpkaboo or Mienfu is coming in, and I want to knock those guys rather than Drain Punch. And he just knocks me off, expecting that he's gonna live the next hit. So I'm out of my Eviolite, and I U-turn. So I still haven't killed this guy. I go into Ferroseed, and he Rock Blasts me. Gets 5 hits, so, but you don't see me complaining about that. Just kidding. He shakes off the taunt, so he's out of taunt, meaning that he gets a free spike on me. I bullet seed him, which is also a hopelessly outdated set. Every Pharisee nowadays will run Giga Drain. He goes into Mienfoo. And he U-turns as I just chill. So the reason I just sat here as Pharisee, first off, I have a Poniard for the Porygon. Back in the day, HP fighting wasn't super common on Porygon. To me, it was basically unheard of. And let's say Mienfoo has like something that kills my Pharisee, right? Let's say it has high jump kick. If he kills my Pharisee with high jump kick, I'm gonna get some Iron Barb Strip on him. You'll see he's at 90%, right? Once the Pharisee dies to the Mienfoo, I'm gonna bring in my Gothita and I'm gonna trap the Mienfoo and I'm gonna kill it. So I wasn't super worried about Pharisee dying to Mienfoo. What worked out for me really well is that he just decided to predict that I would switch to like a Snubble and then U-turned, which was part of why I stayed in as well, is that if he over predicts and goes to this Pumpkaboo guy, Pumpkaboo Super, so it didn't end up being Pumpkaboo Small. It's a bulky like Wisp Giga Drain synth Pumpkaboo, just like a pretty bulky spin blocker that blocks like Staryu. So he's gonna go to this guy, but I decide to Thunder Wave because Thunder Wave's really strong against any of the guys coming in, and even against Pumpkaboo, it's not bad to have Thunder Wave. He goes Mienfoo, and I knock him off. Knocking off Pumpkaboo would be good. Pumpkaboo sometimes runs Fire Blast, but I was kind of willing to take that risk at this point. I don't know if I was fully aware of the fact that it runs Fire Blast when I was playing this game. I don't really remember. It was forever ago. But the fact that I've knocked off his Mienfoo now means that Gothita is really free to come in and trap it whenever it wants. It doesn't matter the HP range. Even if Mienfoo is at 100%, if it's in the field, Gothita will come in and Mienfoo will die to Gothita. I decided to go to Snubble as he drain punches. So it seems like he also did not understand that Mienfoo should run high jump kick, which I don't think a lot of people did at this point. So he U-turns and goes to Pumpkaboo. As I clear off, he can clearly see that I'm berry juice because he frisked me. So I put him in a range where it's awkward for Pumpkaboo. If I attack him again, I will kill him on the next turn. So he kind of feels compelled to Synthesis. Using this fact, I go to Pharisee. As he tries to Wisp me, but I dodge it. He was paralyzed and trying to hit like a 85% accurate move. So it was like maybe 65-60% odds for him to hit that. Not that it's not lucky that it did that, but it was kind of nice for me to paralyze him and lower the odds of him, lower the odds of that happening, at least. So I'm gonna Spike as he tries to Wisp me. He finally connects the Wisp. I'm gonna knock him off on the Pumpkaboo because it feels like, oh, this guy actually intends to stay in on me and not go to Mienfoo. Okay, I'm just gonna knock him off. The second layer spikes do 1/6 damage. The first layer does 1/8, and the third layer does 1/4. As a percentage, the third layer spikes is very valuable, but the second layer spikes is not very valuable. That's part of the reason I go for knock on the Pumpkaboo instead of trying to get the second spike up, because if he manages to kill me this turn, I would rather have gotten a spike and a knockoff on the Pumpkaboo rather than a second spike up. because two spikes just aren't that much more value than one spike. But hey, the Pumpkaboo recovers me. I'm gonna spike up as he tries to bullet seed me. He only gets 3 hits, but it is enough to kill me with Oras Burn because it does 1/8 of damage. So my Pumpkaboo is dead. I'm gonna bring in the Bonnier. The reason he's dotting here, guys, is not because he's mad or whatever. It's because he said I might bug. He might literally disconnect from the game. We were talking about this during game 1, dude. So he is thinking he might disconnect from this game. As a Poniard, it looks really free for me to try to click on Ironhead because Pumpkaboo's already paralyzed. And if I Ironhead him, there's a chance he'll flinch, and then there's a chance he'll paralyze. The cumulative chance of both of those together means that it's more likely that I will disable him than that he will get to click an attack. And then the Wisp, like, accuracy factored in means that he probably won't get to click a move. And the reason that Ironhead instead of Knockoff, which is super effective against Pumpkaboo, is that there's a Mienfoo in the back. So he wants to switch into Mienfoo. Knock on a Mienfoo without an item is not going to do that much damage, but Ironhead will definitely do a lot of damage. So I decide to click Ironhead, which is a good move. He gets paralyzed. Honestly, this is like I guess I lucked him, but the odds are very much in my favor this turn. I Ironhead again. And he connects the Wisp, which I'm not going to complain about luck because I did that twice in a row. And, like, to do that, to connect Wisp at least one time is definitely in his favor. But it is crazy that he lives, like, after doing 50%, it is crazy that he lives this hit at, like, 1 HP, doing, like, the men roll. And he goes dot dot dot. I Stealth Rock as he full paras. Good for me. I Ironhead. He goes Paragon. I'm assuming he's gonna try to set up here because against my board and with the burn Poniard, the Paragon looks pretty ready to do its thing. I knock him off. He gets his Eviolite knocked off as he goes agility. And I Sucker Punch as he agilities again. I Sucker Punch as he recovers. I Sucker Punch as he try attacks. Now, this looks not very good for me. I have 2 sets of hazards down. An Eviolite, Mienfoo, Gothita, Snubble, Garfish. None of these guys really like taking special hits. He did kind of indicate to me that he doesn't have coverage with this try attack recover situation, but both of my normal resists are gone. I bring in my Snubble because it's the only mon I have that can stay at full HP after the hazards. And he try attacks me. I live at, like, I want to say 3 HP. And I play rough the Paragon. He recovers as I play rough. And he lives. Honestly, I think as him, you really want to just attack the Snubble, and then Garfish will revenge kill you, but you still have a Ghastly against... I guess the Gothita is faster, but Ghastly doesn't get trapped by Gothita, and you have a Poniard in the back. So Ghastly plus Poniard, I think, should still win in the game. So I'm not really sure why he recovered at all. I think he should just attack me and then try to trade down things on the board. Because I think if I go to Garfish and then revenge kill the Paragon, I think Ghastly lives in Aquajet. And I think either way, Mienfoo or Poniard should be able to wear down my Garfish. So he recovers on my play rough. He recovers again. I play rough again. And I kill him, but I don't know if this crit, like, matters a crazy amount because you can see that like one of my player off rolls did 65.2%. So Porygon dies. I was like, no miss, please. Haxer, hack IMO. The Ghastly comes into revenge kill. I go to my Gothita. And I psychic as he just stays in. Okay. Maybe he predicted me to double switch to Mienfoo or something. But okay, I just use my Gothita, I psychic the Ghastly, and I kill it. So now this endgame is pretty straightforward for me because the Mienfoo just kind of wins. And the Corfish just kind of wins. So he goes Poniard. So the Poniard Iron Hands me. I let the Gothita die. I bring the Mienfoo. And I Drain Punch as he goes to his Mienfoo, which is not. And he acrobatics me. I live on 1 HP. I'm not sure if that's a roll, but I Drain Punch him. And he Sucker Punches me. So he manages to kill my Mienfoo. But I bring the Garfish. He Iron Heads to try to flinch, but I don't get flinched. And I Crab Hammer him. And I win the series against Majestic. The Zoroark series, I would say, was maybe less oh shoot. I don't even see all this stuff in the chat. The 2015 French to the 2026 Brazil, I would say the French are probably stronger. Definitely a very strong nation. All right, so Zoroark at this point was a pretty strong tournament player. And I remember, I don't think I played against him until this point, but I do remember thinking he was a pretty strong player, and I was kind of excited to bring something different against him. My team against him seems like a little offbeat, you know, Vullaby, Mienfoo, Drillbur, kind of offbeat, Pumpkaboo, Ammonite, Magnemite. A little bit more of an offbeat team as he brings like Arkin, Chinchou, Vullaby, Pharaoh, Snubble, Stunky seem to be really big during this time for some reason. So both of our teams are kind of weird, but my team is a little more, you guys will see why it's offbeat, but it's like pretty strange team. So he leads Chinchou as a good Mienfoo. The same lead I had against Majestic, but turned around. So I get the advantage here. I go U-turn, which does a lot of damage, and go into Pumpkaboo as I frisk his Choice Scarf. So I'm Choice Scarf Mienfoo because I went first. So I won a speed tie against Chinchou, and he goes and Volt switches on my Pumpkaboo. Goes Stunky. I go Ammonite on the Fire Blast. So he makes a read that I'm gonna go into Magnemite, but I don't do that. I feel like if he had knockoff, he would go knockoff, but I'm not going to speculate there. I think we'll find out throughout the game. And I go Scald, so I'm clearly a Stealth Rock Ammonite. I go Bumpkaboo as he goes Chin Chow. Um, I'm curious what he expected here. Maybe expected me to go Magnemite or something. But I'm kind of confused. So he Ice Beams as I Wisp. I'm making like a crazy over prediction because Pumpkaboo and Chinchou. Pumpkaboo counters Chinchou, so I expect him to Volt Switch into something. So I'm like, okay, the Vullaby or the Stunky's coming in. I'm just gonna Wisp them to get chip damage. But he Ice Beams as I Wisp, but I missed the Wisp. So I am like, okay, no worries, I guess. He goes Stunky as I go Mienfoo, which is a good switch into the Ice Beam. It just kind of sits on the Ice Beam, U-turns, you know. I have the Scarf, but uh, overall, pretty good switching. Like, I should be going like Ammonite maybe, but if I go Ammonite on the Ice Beam that Chinchou's locked into, something like Ferseed is a good double switch, which makes Mienfoo a good double switch in turn. His answer is the Snubble, which can get worn down over time, and because I'm Scarf, the high jump kick will kill all of these guys, like, really easily. Mienfoo U-turns into Ammonite as Stunky Sludge Bombs. And he goes into Ferroseed as I Scald again, and I finally get the burn. I Stealth Rock as he spikes. At this point, I expect him to have Bullet Seed. I Spike as he spikes, so I have 2 layers of hazards, which is really good for me. Pretty much everything on his team, aside from the Ferroseed, takes a huge damage from this combination. Arkin and Wallaby get owned by Stealth Rock, and then these 2 guys basically die to a combination of Stealth Rocks and Spike. Especially because Chinchou has no recovery. So I Spike again as Ferroseed. Bullet Seeds. I have weak armor, so I think I kill myself on the Bullet Seed damage because of the multiple hits. But I get lucky, and he only hits me twice, which is a 1/3 chance. So I get to get my final layer of spikes up as he Bullet Seeds me. I go Pumpkaboo, and then as he switches into Stunky, I'm synthesizing, and he goes Defog as I try to Wisp him and miss. I go Mienfoo as he goes Fire Blast, and he Ferseeds. I U-turn, importantly, because I'm kind of scared of the aftermath damage, so I don't want to Drain Punch and kill him. So I'm thinking maybe I U-turn on him and then I get something else to kill this guy. So I U-turn on the Ferseed, switch in, and then I go Magnemite, which is perfect because now my Mienfoo has gained some Regenerator HP, I'm assuming. Chinchou Volt Switch on my... So Chinchou Volt Switches on my Magnemite. I have a Pumpkaboo that's at 72%. So if I switch to Pumpkaboo on the water move, I get free recovery. And the Stunky, which counters me due to being a special attacker, is very low, so he's not really a counter anymore. If Vullaby comes in, he just gets Wisped. If Arkin comes in, he just gets Wisped. Snubbull gets Wisped. And Chinchou's moves are resisted by Pumpkaboo, unless you want to lock into Ice Beam, which is countered by the Magnemite, I guess. Scarf Mienfoo isn't really counter, but it's there. So he switches, Volt switches on my Magnemite, goes Stunky, and I click Flash Cannon. So I make kind of a wild read here. I predict that he's going to Volt Switch on my expected Pumpkaboo switch in. Or that he's going to Ice Beam, in which case Volt Switch, Flash Cannon is still fine because I set in Flash Cannon the Chinchou as he's Ice Beaming me, and I think I win that trade. But either way, a really good read by me. He goes Chin Chow, and I click Endure as he goes full switch. So I remember saying that I made a crazy read here, which is not true because I have Endure Recycle Magnemite, which was a set I used to like run a lot back in the day. So it was actually fairly easy read for me to make. It's the only move I can click that affects Chin Chow. He goes Chin Chow as I Endure. He Volt switches. I get my Berry Juice recovery and get full, and he goes Vullaby. I go my own Vullaby as he goes Chin Chow, and he Volt switches as I decide to U-turn. I feel like I could have roosted here, but I'm not sure if I have roost on this Vullaby. Either way, I decide to go U-turn. I guess I'm playing more for the momentum here. I go Drillbur. And this Drillbur is a very funny set because, like, I remember saying in preview, I'm like, oh, Drillbur is not really like a very common mon, but this is Poison Jab Life Orb Drillbur, which kills a Snubble from full because I switched in, so he doesn't have Intimidate. This is a set I used to run to get like the Cottonies that were around. A very interesting Drillbur set that isn't very common at all in current ORAS, but was kind of a cool set to run back in the day. I killed the Snubble. He goes Chin Chow. I go Vullaby as he goes Hydro Pump and kills my Vullaby. I go Pumpkaboo because I know he's Stress Scarf. I know I can... Oh my god, I Wisp him on the switch. That is insane, guys. So he could Hydro Pump as I Wisp him and then switch, but then his Chin Chow is taking passive damage. So what I decide to do is get guaranteed progress. His two switches are physical attackers, so I will Wisp them on the switch, and it disables him. It basically means I win the 1v1, and if he stays in, he's locked into Hydro Pump, which doesn't do very much to me, so I could Synthesis on the switch. But the fact that I get him with a Wisp on the switch means that this game is basically over. I Synthesis, he Acrobatics for 0 damage because he still has his item. I Bullet Seed, and I get 3 hits. Not the best, but not the worst. He Acrobatics as I Synth. I have 5 Synths left, and in a couple of Synths, he's going to be left in Defeatist range, and I have Shadow Sneak to put him in Defeatist range as he Acrobatics and, like, does no damage. I'm just going to Synth on him. And he's gonna acro. The min roll, max roll here is very variant. I Bullet Seed. He Roosts as I Synth. I Shadow Sneak as he Acrobatics and does no damage. And he Roosts as I believe I Bullet Seed this turn, and Roost makes you lose your flying type, so I'm super effective against the Arcan with the grass type move. And I kill him. He goes Vullaby, double switch to Chin Chow as I Wisp. I Wisp him, guys. I just decide I'm not doing any of this nonsense. I'm just going to Wisp him. And it turns out to be a good call. He goes Chin Chow as a Wisp. He goes back to Vullaby. I Shadow Sneak. Maybe a little desperate. Maybe not the best move. He Nasty Plots as I Wisp. He Dark Pulses. And fortunately for me, I have my trusty High Jump Kick Mianfu. He goes Chin Chow. I go Drillbur. I think I misplayed with letting you defog. Thank you. Thank you, Kingler. He goes Hydro Pump. I go Mianfu. And I have Scarf Drain Punch. Like, this is so cringe, guys. This set is so cringe. But I won the game. Overall, I would say pretty well played by me. There were some turns that were a little odd, but overall, I'm very impressed by how I play this game, especially with the fact that it was 10 years ago. My last game against Zordark, I want to say one of the more standard teams I brought. Spritzy, Bargon, Abra, Arkin, Timber, Bonnier. And he brings some like insane jank. He brings Scraggy, Dalo, Drillbur, Ferroseed, Honage, Skrelp. So this is like some kind of crazy VOD team. It's a lot going on in this team. I'm not gonna lie. The way the lead works out is he leads Drillbur and I lead Bargon. So I get the download boost, but the way Drillbur's stats are aligned is that his SDEF is just a little bit higher than his def. So because download works with the lower defense stat, the lower defense stat, so Drillbur's defense is lower. His Bargon's attack gets increased, which isn't very useful for it because he uses all special attacks. Drillbur still switches out of Ferroseed because Bargon wins the 1v1. Bargon has recovery and more bulk, and Drillbur doesn't have any recovery, and he has less bulk. So Drillbur switches to Ferroseed under Tri Attack. And Bargon has HP Fire against the Ferroseed. So this is part of the reason why I led Bonniard. It's not good against the Scraggy, but against everything else, I just kind of trade down damage, right? And I can like reveal the HP Fire very early and like get a lot of surprise value out of it. So Ferroseed, Tri Attack, and I completely rip the HP Fire very early, and this thing's basically dead. He spikes on me. Okay. I hidden power and kill him. So for one spike, I've killed off Mon, and now he's basically playing 5v6, trying to use the Scraggy or Talo to sweep me. Talo, I'm not sure, because I have a Poniard and an Arkin, so I have two pretty good flying resists, and a Spritzy, which walls it. And against Scraggy, I also have the Spritzy. So I'm not quite sure how successful he's going to be. I go Spritzy as he goes a knockoff, which is the correct move against Spritzy. So he's knocking off the Spritzy. Eventually, maybe he'll get a Dragon Dance against weakened Spritzy and high jump kick. We'll see if things work out for him. He goes Skrelp as I click Moonblast. I get a fortunate drop on the Skrelp. Very, very nice, because Skrelp has adaptability, so he's like the special Corfish, guys. He's just gonna click really strong attacks. I don't have any water resist, so this special attack drop is very, very nice for me. I go Porygon, which now walls Skrelp, now that he has a drop. I get a special attack boost, which is really nice on the Skrelp. Remember, I have HP Fire, so this Honage doesn't do anything to me. He goes Toxic Spikes. He goes Honage as I Psychic on the Skrelp because it's super effective. I could Tri Attack, and it's like if he went Scraggy here, that would be very bad for me, right? Especially because I Psychicked. But I predict that he won't go Scraggy for some reason. I predict like some kind of mid ground, either stays in with Skrelp or he goes Honage. That's why I Psychic, and this chip is really important because now I can just HP Fire and kill the Honage. So he has to go Scraggy, and this chip with HP Fire on Scraggy just feels so nice. Like now Timber can come in, he has Guts, with Mach Punch he'll probably kill the Scraggy. It just feels a lot easier to play like this matchup. Also, to be honest, I probably have like a really free matchup. Like Timber just looks really free here. And Abra looks quite good with the combination of mons I have. HP Fire Porygon looks quite good. So I do have a really strong matchup here already. combined with that drop in the Skrelp, that just makes things really easy for me. He Drain Punches the Spritzy. I Wish as he goes Skrelp. And I go Poniard as he goes Sludge Wave. This is quite a fortunate turn for me. But honestly, like, I'm at 33%. I don't really see any reason for him to not click Water Move if he has it. Sludge Wave is stronger than like Scald, because I'm assuming he's running Scald, but Scald is plenty strong against all the mons that are coming in. He would probably assume that I have Paragon coming in, which is fair enough, and Sludge Wave does do more to it. But I do feel like Scald is just safer against something nonsensical I'm doing here, like going Poniard and Spritzy and Skrelp. I get the Wish, and part of the reason I went Poniard, it's not like a counter Skrelp, but with the Spritzy healing, he scalds me, I recover, I'm at full. If he burns me, it is where it is, but I can still get a knockoff. So Poniard gets a knockoff. As Skrelp goes Hydro Pump, like really he should have just Hydro Pumped. I knock off again, and I've killed off the Skrelp. I've killed off the only real threat to my team. Like, just look at Timber in this matchup, guys. Like, it just clicks Drain Punch or knock off like 3 times. Against Talo, sure, you're supposed to kill the Timber, but he needs a turn to set up his guts, and then I have 2 counters for the Talo. This guy's dead, but I mean, I don't know. I have a Sasha Abra too. It just looks like mega free. Drillbur comes in, he rocks as I knock. Nice call by me. It's pretty easy to get greedy here. You're like, oh, I'm 6v4. I just want to secure my win. I'm just going to sucker punch this Drillbur. But no, you have to keep in mind that he's going to try everything. He's going to try stacking up the hazards, maybe. Oh, now your Spritzy's dead. Oh, now these guys are like poison. Like, they're taking more damage. Like, you still, at this point, have to get plays right to try to win this game. So, the fact that I knocked off the Drillbur here is very, very important. Because 3v6 looks very, very different from 4v6. 4v6, it actually looks like you can get stuff done. Like, the Drillbur can kill all my mons. It kills this guy in a hit. Arkin, after rocks, dies in 1 hit. So if I suckered here on this turn, as he stealth rocks, he would kill me the next turn, and then things get a little more complex. This knockoff means that it's a lot more trivial for me to actually win the game. I sucker as he stealth rocks, so he's just trying to run me out of PP. I sucker as he stealth rocks again. You guys might be thinking, why isn't he just going Scrafty? I think if he goes Scraggy, I Iron Head him, and even if he Dragon Dances and then kills me the next turn, I have a Timber in the back that just revenge kills him. So he's going to try to win this 1v1 by getting me with the Sucker 50-50s. So I Sucker again, as he Stealth Rocks. Sucker's just a safe play here, guys. I'm going to spam Sucker here for a bit. Sucker. I've used Sucker like 6 times in a row, and he stealth rocked, and he stealth rocks again, and I finally decide to Iron Head. So I finally catch him on his stealth rock play. He scraggies. He says, damn, 7th time did the trick against Stombus. Guess you didn't scout me that well. Hey, I don't know, Zoro. I don't know. So Poniard uses Iron Head. I flinch him, which is good. I say, but in my head, I'm like, yeah, someone else he opened, let's go. Probably. I Iron Head him again, kill him. He goes Talo. He quick attacks me as I knock him off. A little desperate, but I get it. I mean, the game is over at this point. He goes Haunage, and I Sucker Punch as he Shadow Sneaks. And then Arkin comes in, I Earthquake on the Shadow Sneak, and I am an LC Open champion. I'm an LC Open champion. Let me see. Did I even make a post? It's weird to see someone that actually plays LT win the Open. This is definitely a step in the right direction. Congratulations, Skingler. Now try to not get round one in the playoffs. Congratulations, Skingler. 1, 2, 3, 5. We'll meet again. Congratulations, Skingler. God, DUO, an old legend of LC. One of my boys from back then. Level 56. Congrats, man. By the way, the 6th Grand Slam winner. Congrats, Skingler. 1, 2, 3, 5. Good job, brother. Yeah, lost to Kingler, a pair of GGs. Thanks to everyone that helped me test this stuff. Grats Kingler Bhangra. This is an old Skype emoji. And Lemmy had to make a post for me because I didn't make a post for winning my LT Open. A lot of congratulations for me. Oh damn, nice work, dude. Thank you, Blazing Kickin' Chicken. Yeah, this tournament had a decent amount of fanfare for like being an open finals. Usually they don't have these many posts. It got me into SPL. It got me into like the Grand Slam playoffs, pretty much. It kind of catapulted my career in terms of being seen as a tournament player. I have more to say about this Grand Slam itself, and I will try to make a video, but thank you for watching.